Hi, my name is Jonathan Culbertson, and I am the Senior Compliance Manager at InCheck, a background screening company. Welcome to the October 2024 edition of InCheck's Compliance Update Vlog, which briefly features some recent legal updates that affect background screening and the hiring process so that you can take that information back to your teams and legal counsel for further review. Let's jump right in with two legal updates from the West Coast. California passed Senate Bill 1100, which amended the California Fair Employment and Housing Act to make it an unlawful employment practice to include a statement in a job advertisement that the applicant must have a driver's license, unless both these conditions are satisfied. One, the employer has to reasonably expect driving to be one of the job functions for the position. And then two, the employer must reasonably believe that satisfying that job function using an alternative form of transportation would not be comparable in travel time or cost to the employer. Now, alternative form of transportation will include things like using a ride-hailing service, using a taxi, carpooling, bicycling, and walking. Now, employers will want to be mindful of that law's requirements when they're drafting their job advertisements. Now let's focus in on San Diego County, California, which passed the Fair Chance Ordinance to help ensure individuals with criminal records have fair and equitable access to opportunities for gainful employment. Okay. The ordinance applies to employers with 5 or more employees within the unincorporated areas of San Diego County, and the ordinance regulates the consideration of criminal history and employment decisions. The ordinance is substantially similar to the California Fair Chance Act, though it is different in some regards. For instances, the San Diego FCO requires employers who intend to deny an applicant employment solely or in part because of the criminal history to make a written individualized assessment of whether that applicant's criminal history has a direct and adverse relationship with the specific duties of the job that justify denying the applicant the position. So it has to be written. Notably, the written assessment does not actually have to be provided to the applicant. Furthermore, if the employer makes a preliminary decision that the applicant's criminal history disqualifies that applicant from employment, the employer must notify the applicant in writing and include certain required information, including the right to file a complaint with the County of San Diego Office of Labor Standards and Enforcement. Also, the applicant has at least 5 business days to respond to that notice, but during that time, the employer must not fill that position. Now, the FCO went into effect on October 10th, so covered employers will definitely want to thoroughly review that ordinance as soon as possible. Okay, let's finish up by looking at an update out of Pennsylvania. The city of Pittsburgh passed an ordinance which generally makes it an unlawful employment practice to discriminate against any employee or prospective employee because of the individual's lawful status as a medical marijuana patient, including by requiring testing for marijuana as a condition of employment. Okay. So the general prohibition, it does not apply to persons within the following jobs, though, right? 1, any position that is the subject of drug testing due to regulations of the US DOT or the Pennsylvania DOT. 2, any position that requires the employee to carry a firearm. And 3, any applicants whose prospective employer is a party to a collective bargaining agreement that specifically addresses the pre-employment drug testing of such applicants. Additionally, the limitation does not apply to for-cause drug testing performed when supervisors have reasonable cause to suspect that an employee is under the influence of a drug while at work, or drug testing performed after a workplace accident. Employers with Pittsburgh applicants or employees will want to take a closer look at that ordinance. That's it for me today. Thank you for joining me on the October 2024 edition of InCheck's Compliance Update Vlog. As always, ask that you join me again next time for some more compliance updates. Thank you.